me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine.
Good evening. Welcome to Greenlight Maine. I'm Julene Gervais. Thank you so much for joining us. Our Best of the Best series continues with some of the most impressive companies in Maine. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is a program where entrepreneurs get to promote their companies, win thousands of dollars, and expand and create jobs. But tonight, it's a whole lot more than that. You're about to meet two companies that are helping special groups of people win their courageous battles. But first, we'd like to meet our judges who are doing so many good things for Maine. First up is Steve Bromage, who is the Executive Director of the Maine Historical Society. So good to see you, Steve.
Hi, thanks for having me. Well, this is really fun to be part of. You know, innovation and risk-taking has been key to Maine's vitality for centuries. So it's really good to promote that. And of course, this is 2020 is Maine's bicentennial, which I think is as much looking towards the future as how we've gotten here. So Greenlight Maine is all about that. So it's great to be here.
Next up, Susan Morris, a woman with many titles. How are you?
I am well, and it's wonderful to be here. These days, what am I up to? I am doing early stage investing. I'm a proud member of Maine Angels, and continue to support entrepreneurs as they get their businesses launched and scaling for growth.
Thank you. And finally, Sam Beal. So good to see you. You're the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southern Maine.
Correct. Well, I am the retired CEO. But anyway, it's a wonderful opportunity. I've always been very interested in cause-related marketing and how not-for-profits can relate with for-profit businesses to their mutual benefit.
Great. What a group. It's time for our first pitch. She is a woman who is helping people with substance abuse disorder in a huge way. Let's watch Margot Walsh from MaineWorks.
Hello, my name is Margot Walsh and I own MaineWorks. MaineWorks is an employment company for people in early reentry from jail and prison and for those who have suffered through substance use disorder. And in Maine, that line is very blurry. Out of my own recovery in 2011, I was volunteering at the Cumberland County Jail where I met these wonderful young people who were about to be released and actually in an employment setting, but they were miserably underemployed, mostly working at the burger joint across the street. So I thought with my consulting and recruiting background that I could go around and find a better outcome. So that's what I did. And in 2011, MaineWorks was established to provide employment opportunities for people in the industrial construction sector in Maine, doing mostly construction site labor. And we were always paying above the minimum wage, and I really, really hold that dear because I think part of the economic problem that we face right now and the social challenges that we face is that people need economic viability. And the best way towards economic viability is through meaningful employment with the supports in place that someone will need in order to be successful. So MaineWorks exists to provide employment. And in 2017, I also started a 501c3 nonprofit called Maine Recovery Fund that provides the integrative services that people need as they navigate early employment. Those include a ride to work, outerwear, steel-toed work boots, any kind of rent assistance and those things. So MaineWorks is the company. The 501c3 is Maine Recovery Fund. We also work with the state of Maine at this point, and we're trying to pull those three things together because I believe that in this world we need for businesses, nonprofits, and the government to work more collaboratively and more intentionally. Businesses can solve a lot of problems. We're actually a B Corp in the state of Maine, and I'm really proud of that because it indicates that we have found a way to use business as a force for good. And being part of that ecosystem is very rewarding because we hold that tenet dearly, and we hope that other companies will see that there is a way to do that effectively. So as we work to move people into an economic outcome after COVID-19, we really ask that people support this organization, and as we expand, we would use the funds from Greenlight Maine to hire more people in order to change more lives through meaningful employment. Thank you.
And you are changing lives in a big way, Margot. It's so good to see you. Congratulations. You deserve a Medal of Honor.
Thank you, Julian. It's always great to see you. Thank you.
All right, let's kick off the questions with Steve.
Yeah, Margot, what a fantastic project. The foundation you are looking to build is for people getting on their feet is just fantastic. Can you talk to us a little bit about the number of people who you're currently reaching and serving through this program currently, and how the Greenlight Maine funds will help you scale that up and reach more?
Thanks, Steve. That's a great question. Naturally, we are also facing complexity because of COVID-19. But because we generally follow the construction industry, we've been considered essential, which has created incredibly wonderful opportunity despite the gravity of the global economy. So today, for example, which is fairly typical for this time of year, we have about 60 people working. That's 50 people in the greater Portland area, about 5 in Waterville, and 5 in the nudging into the state of New Hampshire.
Susan.
Great. Wonderful to see your continued success, Margot.
Thank you.
I'm going to follow up on Steve's question. You mentioned that you would like to hire more people, and I wasn't sure whether that was at a management level, or your team is now a director of operations, a business manager, you've got a controller. Where are you exactly going to be hiring people to be able to help you succeed even more?
So, Susan, we've hit our stride. And we know now that we have a viable product, a viable service, and the general correlation is between 25 to 30 people per operations manager. So we actually have a hub and spoke model where everything is being run from the greater Portland area, all of the accounting and office payroll, all of that. And so now it's feasible for us to have one satellite manager in a district or region to correlate with 25 to 30 employees working there. So we're really optimistic that we can be in further parts of Maine and also in the regional Northeast.
That was a great question. Sam.
Yes, Margot, you are, I know, dealing with people with a variety of issues and challenges. And I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about how you support them as they try to transition into a healthy lifestyle.
So by the virtue of having a job, Sam, that's the biggest way to start, is to get guys working immediately. A lot of really well-intended programs that deal in this space, naturally there are many across the country, they defer the employment in favor of things like resume building and skills development and all of that. The people that I serve do not have the luxury of that time. They need to hit the ground running. And then what we do is provide them with the dignity of that experience of working immediately. But then the nonprofit that we established, Maine Recovery Fund, fills in with the rent assistance, dental, urgent economic things that prop people up in their early quest for employment and individual viability.
Perfect. Treating people the way they deserve to be treated. Good job, judges. Great job, Margot. We're going to take a quick break and come back with our second company. Don't go away.
It's the spirit of New Englanders that inspires all of us to do more. It's in our employees, our customers, and our communities. Every day we do more because at Bangor Savings Bank, we truly believe you matter more.
Whether you're cutting edge or looking at a traditional industry in a whole new way, if you want to innovate and if you want to grow, if you're an organization here in Maine, we want to support you. We're the Maine Technology Institute.
Eaton Peabody, a Maine-based law firm serving generations of Maine businesses and families from offices in Augusta, Bangor, Brunswick, Ellsworth, and Portland.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. Our second company is Transcapsule. Founder Toby Tozier is making inroads in the health and safety of the transgender community. Let's have a look.
I'm Toby Tozier, founder of Transcapsule, an app for trans and non-binary people to document the transition journey. and to further transgender health research. I started my transition 6 years ago. I was pretty terrified. I didn't really know what to expect in terms of physical changes, emotional changes. So in the beginning, documenting my transition meant everything. It meant being able to look back and reflect on the progress that I had made instead of longing for the progress that I hadn't. I've surveyed over 125 trans and non-binary people and found that 97% document their transitions, while 88% struggle to find a good way to do so. Right now, information is scattered around on different apps and devices for different parts of the journey, and it's not kept private or secure. Additionally, we're lacking data on the long-term effects of hormone replacement therapy that could further transgender health research. Transcapsule is currently in beta on iOS and Android, and will soon allow users to document through photos, videos, audio, body measurements, mood tracking, and journaling. It also allows people to set milestones and reminders for transition-related things like hormone dosages, doctor's appointments, or any other significant events. Next, we'll be incorporating beta feedback and launching with a subscription model of $5 per month, so the app can sustain itself long-term. It's estimated that 0.6% of the US population identifies as transgender. Based on our survey data, we're looking to capture 88% of the trans population, leaving us with a potential market of 1.7 million people in the United States alone. And this could scale outside the US. There isn't currently national trans population data, but Transcapsule could potentially help provide that sort of data. We're projecting to have 5,000 users and $300,000 in revenue within the first year of launching. As the founder, I have 9 years of experience in graphic design and the lived experience of having gone through this before. I also work with a team of advisors and have partnered with an app development agency. We've already raised over $25,000 through startup grants and traditional fundraising. But in order to continue development, we need additional funding. With the help of Greenlight Maine, this would allow us to continue development and launch a marketing campaign to get Transcapsule in the hands of those who need it most. Thanks so much.
Toby, you are such an amazing person. It has been so wonderful to watch your success story.
Thank you so much. It's great to be back.
It's great to have you back. Okay, kick us off, Steve.
Toby, what a great project. I really love it. And I really commend your vision of and recognition of the importance of documenting individuals' experiences. I think that is so important at so many levels, and your project just does it in a really nice way. I also thought you had great documentation of the market and the way your project was going to play out. Can you tell me, is there a community component of the project and the app where, in addition to people documenting their experience, that there's a way for them to share, connect with each other, kind of in a support system kind of way?
Yeah, definitely. So not in this initial build, but the plan is in the future to incorporate some sort of community support aspect. So not so much in like the social media kind of a way, where people can kind of like share their story in a larger sense, but rather potentially pair people up with mentors who have been through the transition before, or maybe they're going through the exact same part in their transition as that younger person is or something, and could really benefit from that support.
Great.
Susan, you're up.
Yeah, picking up on what Steve was just asking, because I too wondered if there was a model of offering community resources, even telemed to me has an aspect that it could apply. And so I was wondering if you have research and what you've learned from other examples of people that have had both physical and emotional journeys, people that have experienced cancer or weight loss, pregnancy. Are there correlations or learnings from other organizations that you could use?
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot to tackle when it comes to helping people through the transition journey. I mean, there's, like you said, there's the medical side of things, there's the emotional support.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of correlation to those other things that you mentioned. So for now, the beta of the app really focuses on helping people document the transition journey, but the long-term goal is to help gather anonymous data for trans health research. So I'm looking to partner with healthcare organizations and researchers who specialize in transgender health to help see, what types of data are we missing? How can we collect this directly from people real time in a way that's, super easy, super secure, and people can feel like they're really helping others through the journey in the future.
Sam.
Yeah, Toby, I'm very impressed about, how you're integrating mental and emotional health and physical health in this effort. What I'm curious about is what would you do with the grant if you were to receive it?
So the grant would go directly towards software development. So I actually have only about $5,000 to $7,000 left to raise. I just got through a crowdfunding campaign and was already awarded another grant through the Libra Future Fund. So this would go towards a potential matching grant through MTI, who has helped fund the beta so far. So that would go directly towards those matching funds for that grant and finishing up development.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Toby, this is one of those situations where the right hand meets the left, where you have your background in graphic design and you're just putting it to a great cause. It's both personal and going to help so many others. So thank you so much and congratulations. We need to take a quick break. When we come back, our judges are going to deliberate. Don't go away.
Through their efforts to support Maine entrepreneurs who are growing our economy, Greenlight Maine is making our state a better place to start and operate a business. For these efforts and the creation of a robust entrepreneurial ecosystem, the Harold Alfond Institute for Business Innovation at Thomas College is proud to be a sponsor of Greenlight Maine.
ARB's advisors are providing savvy solutions to Greenlight Maine startups, closely held businesses, and organizations that operate internationally. And we're doing it the way you'd want Mainers to, guided by our local, sensible values.
It's the spirit of New Englanders that inspires all of us to do more. It's in our employees, our customers, and our communities. Every day we do more because at Bangor Savings Bank, we truly believe you matter more.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. Our judges are going to get down to business and talk this through. Steve, tell us what you think. Our viewers at home want to know.
Well, boy, for starters, these are both just great projects, very different dynamics as we recognized. To me, I think Toby's project, did a very good job describing the market, where he is in the project and how he takes this to scale in terms of audience and users. That was really positive. I think what was really compelling about Margot's is the number of bodies and the number of people it's already serving and the potential to take that to scale within Maine communities and really leverage more. You can see the immediate impact, which is really exciting. So those are the things I'm looking at.
Yeah, I'm really torn because on the one hand, Toby has a concept that is just begging to be tested. I think he is really onto something, and he's at a point where he needs a boost of funding to be able to do proof of concept and get that app launched, get some data collection going, and see where it takes him. And then Margot, I'm fascinated by really seeing where the model could go with what happens when you get state, businesses, and nonprofits all working together. She already has a lot of data and a lot of experience under her belt and is looking to test a new model and really to scale.
Yeah, the title of this show is Greenlight Maine, and I'm sort of focused on what effect these businesses have on the state of Maine first, and obviously the scalability question is very different here. We have Toby talking about launching an app that could impact millions of people, not only in the country but around the world. And we have Margot talking about providing some very real services within the state of Maine. But then she also talked about expanding this program essentially nationally at some point, but initially into other New England states. And then she mentioned the South and the West. And there are so many moving parts to that program that this is going to be a challenge for her, for sure. Both very, very worthy enterprises, very different, and an apples and oranges question. for sure.
Yeah.
I think the other part of that apples and oranges is one feels very much like it's a startup trying to get off the ground, Toby's, and I think the others, Margot's business is up and running and already successful, so it's about growing it to a certain extent. So.
And
Correct.
they both have such a social impact component, compared to many of the other contenders we see on Greenlight Maine and in other areas. So that it's always hard to figure out what the ROI is on social impact, or where are you going to get the most bang for your buck.
Good time for one more comment.
I feel that, we're looking at this, from all angles, and that's what we should be doing. But there's really not, to me, a clear right and wrong here. It's just a tough choice that comes down to looking at the factors that are important to Greenlight Maine, for the participants.
Nice. Well, you guys definitely have a tough decision. They're both, broadening the social impact, doing so much for our state and beyond. So just remember that, this is not, if they don't advance, this is not the end, because we always say even when they lose, they really do win with the exposure gained and the connections made. So thank you so much for all that you do. Thanks for being here. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have our Inspiring Mainer.
Create content like blog posts, photos, infographics, and videos, and post it on your website and social media to connect with current and prospective customers to show that you are relevant and active. Identify the places where your customers and your community are going online. So if it's Facebook or Twitter, Pinterest or LinkedIn, you should post content that is helpful, educational, entertaining, or informative. And don't be afraid to share some personal photos either. People want to know about the person behind your business. So it's okay to reveal some personal details about yourself, like your hobbies, your trips, or your favorite books, movies, or music.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. This week's Inspiring Mainer is Hannah Pingree, who is the Director at the Governor's Office of Policy Innovation for the Future. Thank you so much for being here, Hannah.
Thanks so much for having me. Great to be here on Zoom.
You're a very busy woman, so can you talk about some of the initiatives you're working on lately, like the Economic Recovery Committee?
Sure. Well, it has obviously been a difficult 9 months for the people of Maine, and the governor is my boss, and I spend a lot of time working on the initiatives that she's most concerned about. Obviously, as this pandemic started, we knew that the economic situation for working Mainers, for small business owners, for our largest businesses was going to be incredibly challenging. So one of the things she did is in May, she tapped a group of 40 plus leaders, from business leaders to bipartisan policy leaders, to start thinking about, okay, how do we help Maine get back on a path towards economic recovery? And so I've had the pleasure of supporting the staff of that group, working with the co-chairs who've been tremendous leaders, and we are just now coming out with a report. And I think it's important, it's positive, but it still obviously comes at a challenging time for Maine.
A very tough job, even in the best of times. So kudos to you. How about the climate and energy? I know that's one of your big initiatives.
Yeah, so I co-chair the Governor's Climate Council. I work collaboratively with the Governor's Energy Office. And obviously tackling climate change is an important long-term policy issue for the governor, for the state. It's about listening to scientists and starting to make progress. But we also see incredible economic opportunity. Clean energy jobs, efficiency jobs, jobs in the forest product sector could bring incredible positive economic growth for our state. And so we see climate solutions as a win-win for the economy, and we're really excited to continue to tell that story.
Excellent. How about some advice for our contestants on the show?
Advice. Well, all I can say is right now, I have a lot of respect for people running small businesses and entrepreneurs during this incredibly challenging economic period. I would say that please reach out to the state. Think about the Department of Economic and Community Development, The governor wants to hear from you. My office does. We know that now is a time that we want to keep entrepreneurs going and alive, and people, clearly it's not going to be an easy winter. One small piece of advice, I've been working a lot with Efficiency Maine, and I think it's an underutilized resource for small businesses. How do we find efficiency in our buildings and in the work that we do? So that's a tiny piece of advice based on some of the work I'm doing, but really, I just want to thank people for working so hard. We are always open to your ideas about innovation, and really just thank you for what you're doing.
Well, thank you, Hannah, for being here. Thanks for being our inspiring Mainer, and please come back and see us again.
Anytime. Thank you so much.
Sure. All right, we got to take a break. We're going to be right back with our winner, so don't go away.
Through their efforts to support Maine entrepreneurs who are growing our economy, Greenlight Maine is making our state a better place to start and operate a business. For these efforts and the creation of a robust entrepreneurial ecosystem, the Harold Alfond Institute for Business Innovation at Thomas College is proud to be a sponsor of Greenlight Maine.
Whether you're cutting edge or looking at a traditional industry in a whole new way, if you want to innovate and if you want to grow, if you're an organization here in Maine, we want to support you. We're the Maine Technology Institute.
It's the spirit of New Englanders that inspires all of us to do more. It's in our employees, our customers, and our communities. Every day we do more because at Bangor Savings Bank, we truly believe you matter more.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. We saw two amazing pitches from MaineWorks and Transcapsule doing so much to change people's lives for the better. And it's now time to find out who is moving on. So judges, from 3, 2, 1. And that means Margot Walsh from MaineWorks is moving on in the competition. Congratulations, Margot. Your story should be told over and over again, helping so many people in Maine and beyond.
Thank you, Julian. That's unbelievable news. We're at the place in our history that we could really use the help, and it is going to be welcomed by everybody at my company. Thank you so much.
And that's all the time we have for tonight. We love hearing from you, so please write to us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you can see all of our episodes on greenlightmaine.com. We'll be back next week with 2 more companies. Have a fantastic evening.